Welcome to Authentic with Brazil 201. I am your host, Brazil 201, your future Golden Globe nominee for Best Podcast. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about, will the correct anti-Zoran candidate please stand up? Now, I want to preface this with so many things. I live in Jersey City, not New York, so I do not have a vote in this election. I do work in Manhattan, though, so I would like to say I get to have opinions on this election. And I just want to say, I am not a Zoran person at all. I am not a democratic socialist. I do not put pronouns in my bio. I do not agree with almost any of Zoran's policy. I am also not an Andrew Cuomo person, but of the choices, I would pick Andrew Cuomo. I really wish Catherine Garcia of 2021 ran because Catherine Garcia would have been a great mayor. But these are the choices we have, and it is what it is. And look, just here's the thing: had Cuomo won the Democratic primary, I think we would still be in this situation. Mainly because, think about this: the people who ranked Cuomo one and the people who ranked Zoran one, right? They were never going to vote for Cuomo or Zoran. Like opposite, right? Like in the scenario where Cuomo was a Democratic nominee, was this 35 to 40% of the primary voters really going to vote for Cuomo? And this is the same for Cuomo for people for the Zoran thing. It's not, right? They were just never going to. And Zoran was still going to be on the ballot in November on the working parties line, right? So this was always going to be a four-way race. Now, I have noticed a lot of interesting things. So on my TikTok, pre New York City mayoral primary, it was very pro Zoran content on my For You page. I am not a Zoran person. I always put not interested. I do not care. I fucking hate Bushwick and Williamsburg. Okay. I am not a transplant woke activist. I don't care. Right. I also just want to say I never voted for Trump any of the three times, despite what people think. Right. I was always like, I guess, a Cuomo guy. Right. Then the election happens. Zoran wins. He kicks Cuomo's ass, right? Because Cuomo did not run a good campaign. He refuses to go on podcasts that will challenge him. I do not like Zoran, but he went on the fucking bulwark, right? And the whole thing. And here's the thing: I am a pro-Israel guy, but even I think these statements were like, I am going to go to Israel as my first fucking trip. No, this was the whole situation with Karen Bass in LA, by the way, where she was in fucking Kenya or Uganda while the fires happened. Mayors of cities do not need to go to other countries, okay? I'm sorry, but like Zoran was correct on that. I think a funny answer on that, where would you go, would be like Staten Island, right? Just treat Staten Island as a foreign country. There are ways to make this joke work, right? I just like, this is the whole thing. But we're here with this four-way race and the math, right? The New York Post did a poll. Now, here's the thing: I do not trust right now any poll that is not Emerson or Atlas Intel, because Emerson was the only one that showed the Zoran surge and expanding the electorate. So I really do not buy Cuomo's super PAC, the Fix the City polls at all, because they could not detect the fucking expanded electorate at all, and their polling was off by 12 points. Okay? The other thing is, now, let's see. I don't know, because now we don't have to do the ranked choice thing. We're doing one of four choices. And the latest the New York Post poll that came out 2 days ago, July 10th, by Slingshot Strategies, has Zoran Mamdani at 35%, Andrew Cuomo at 25%, Curtis Silva at 14%, Eric Adams at 11%. It had Zoran's favorability at +2, Andrew Cuomo's -4, Curtis Curtis Silva at -8, and Eric Adams at a whopping -54%. Now, I was thinking after the election, because Cuomo did not try at all, okay, Eric Adams is the person we have to try to use to beat Zoran in come November. I don't see how Eric Adams can win with a -48 fucking favorability. And he's also polling last in this. Now, the alleged math is if you can convince two of the three people to drop out, that there is enough of the anti-Zoran vote to win the election. The math proves that, Zoran people. Whether you agree with this or not, that is the math, right? The ceiling for Zoran in this four-way race is 40%. Very similar to his primary, because it is an expanded electorate. Republicans get the vote and hold the thing. And this is the thing I have to hope with Republican voters in New York City, which is 20% of the 8 million registered voters, right? Curtis Silva gets 14%. Curtis Silva, you will not become mayor, okay? Now, I don't know if Republican voters can stomach Andrew Cuomo over Eric Adams. Because everything I saw after the mayoral primary was like, yeah, I could tolerate Eric Adams. I cannot tolerate Andrew Cuomo. But we need a debate in August with the four of them so we can see who is the correct anti-Zoran candidate. And by the way, I've noticed that my TikTok, since the election, has gone full anti-Zoran. Like, I am seeing things from everywhere where people are interviewing people. They're mad about the communist grocery store thing. The free buses, by the way. Let's talk about this. I don't know anyone who takes these buses and actually pays for them already, so they're technically already free. And if there are quote unquote free buses, there's just gonna be full of homeless people on these fucking buses, okay? Because that is what's going to fucking happen, okay? It's very obvious with this, okay? Like you're okay, because his whole "I want homeless people to sleep in the subway" thing or whatever fucking nonsense socialist, you know, look, I do not like Zoran at all. I am not a woke socialist whatsoever. I am hoping whatever anti Zoran candidate wins and, we save New York City or whatever, if it's Andrew Cuomo. But I really feel like history is going to repeat itself because, like his father, who ran in a primary against Ed Koch, and then the whole idea was like, well, I could do better in a expanded electorate, he still lost. Now, had Cuomo like came in first place in ranked choice voting and then like lost via ranked choice voting by like 1,000 or 2,000 votes, very obviously you can make the case. Yeah, Andrew Cuomo will do better with an expanded electorate. He can easily win because he only lost by this, right? That's the logical case. Andrew Cuomo got his ass beat in the first round by 8 points, and when all the ranked choice thing came out, it was 12. Now, these polls have consistently showed this like 35, 25, 14, 11 thing, and maybe 40 is Zoran's ceiling in a general electorate because I do think this 4 months of real like New York City will be ruined type ads are going to affect because everyone's going to have a vote on this. And, Bushwick transplants are not the New York City electorate at all, and I get it. God, I really wish Catherine Garcia won. I do not know what the idea is here because clearly we need a debate to happen early, before early voting, so we can see who the correct anti-Zoran candidate is. Because we have to talk about the overall Democratic Party branding. Let's say Zoran wins, right? And in the 7 months he is mayor before the midterm, if New York City goes to shit and crime skyrockets because of progressive quasi defund the police type policy things, that is going to be used on Democrats all over the country. Because now, as they always said, Obama was a socialist, Muslim, communist, or whatever. We finally get, the largest city in the world could have the socialist, Muslim, you know, thing as fucking mayor, and that's going to be used across everyone. So, and this is the whole thing. Now, I do not want Trump to do his fucking chaotic denaturalize Zoran Mamdani and throw him in what is that fucking place? Florida alligator Alcatraz or whatever, because I know from what I see, Trump is looking for some ancient law clause similar to the Alien Enemies Act that he can strip his, Zoran citizenship because there are some legal ways that because Zoran is not a real U.S. citizen, right? People who are born in America, no matter what, cannot lose their U.S. citizenship. Apparently, there's a lot of old school laws that you can strip people's citizenship. And this is a Supreme Court in Donald Trump's favor, and he could expedite this whole situation. And the courts will rule in his favor because it seems to be that the courts may rule in his favor with the birthright shit, which we all thought would be like impossible, but that seems to be like the fucking case on this shit as well. So God, I think the right, I don't know, like I'm trying to imagine the fucking scenario where Donald Trump somehow does this denaturalized Zoran shit and sends him to alligator Alcatraz or whatever. I think that's fucking chaotic. I don't like Zoran, but I do not think that's a fucking intelligent move at all because you will make that man a martyr and he will win. I know Donald Trump does not. Donald Trump hates New York, but he also does not want to see this man as mayor. And look, I also do not want to see this man in mayor. I don't. Okay, I don't care what fucking the transplant. And I've noticed this like on a personality base. Everyone who ranked Zoran 1 they're not people I would fucking associate with. They're not my type of people. These are not people who go to fucking Dante's or the Peak in Hudson Yards, like, classy, Upper East Side, Upper West Side places, right? The only places in Manhattan that, Cuomo want, obviously. It's a different thing. I'm not a Lower East Side Bushwick fucking person who goes to Brooklyn Mirage. That's not me. Okay? I'm a stuck up Hamptons guy, okay? Because let me tell you, people who go to Surf Lodge, they would never fucking vote for Zohran. They would vote for Andrew Cuomo, though. Anyway, these are my thoughts on this. I really hope, the three narcissists get it together and try to figure out who is the correct person. I do hope that if it is Andrew Cuomo, Cuomo goes on everywhere. He goes on the Bulwark. He goes on Pod Save America. He can come on this podcast. Listen, I will interview Cuomo. I will interview Eric Adams. I do not care about Curtis Stillwell. He's not a serious candidate, and we need to be realistic with this. Okay? Cuomo, Eric Adams, come on the podcast. Okay? That's it.